Welcome to Spotlight in Business. I'm Tammy Defoe, and I would like you to meet Nile Saïd. He is the founder of gooneup and a capacity growth strategist, and he will be one of our featured speakers at bizx 2025 Premium Business Expo and Conference on Tuesday, October 21st. It's going to be a fantastic event. We're expecting 300 people. We've got breakfast, lunch, three featured speakers, of which Nile is one of them. But before then, let's get to know him a little bit more. So thanks for coming on the show today, Nile. How are you?
No, thank you so much. I'm great. I'm great. It's great to be here. Thanks.
You're very welcome. So tell us more about yourself.
Well, I'm a coach and strategist. I've been coaching since 2009, when coaching and with on a personal level on businesses and so on was just ramping up. And over the years, I've just fine-tuned a little bit more about how I want to be able to help people, especially being an entrepreneur myself and being able having run businesses, seeing the highs and lows. I'm out there, and my mission is to really help people at this point.
Fantastic. And for the business expo, that's exactly what I'm looking for, people that can help other people grow their businesses. And they're looking for role models. They're looking for examples, right? But so what exactly is a capacity growth specialist and how did you become one of those?
Right. Well, it is pretty specific, and it builds on the idea that we all know, and many of us know entrepreneurs that reach the level of burnout or feel overwhelmed. And first of all, they're humans first. We're all humans, and we have the ability to make sure that we can push ourselves, and we have all of the expertise and all the smarts and the genius within ourselves to apply ourselves to our businesses and learn more because we're sponges. But at the same time, we lose sight sometimes of our own personal capacity to push through and thrive and survive and succeed. And so, being a capacity growth strategist, I not only look at the personal side, but I also look at the business. I bring frameworks, ideas, and strategies tailored to all of the clients that I work with.
Mhm. Yeah. And like we try to separate like our business from our personal, but especially from entrepreneurs, it's different. When you're like at a job, you leave your job, you go home, and then that's it. You have a separation. But it is kind of different when you're entrepreneur, they kind of blend. And so then I guess whatever's going on in personal life can go into the business and vice versa, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. The emotional side, we're emotional beings. And at the same time, if we feel as though we're not communicating correctly or effectively with our clients or our team, this could be stemming from a lack of sleep, miscommunication, and tough times going on in our personal lives, and vice versa. I mean, if there's something going straining in your own business, that will reflect back at home or in your own personal life and how you communicate or your health and your mental stability and so on. So they really do go hand in hand. And what I bring here is, and what I really love helping entrepreneurs do is be more self-aware, help them come up with ways that meet their specific needs. There isn't a one size fits all for every entrepreneur and small business owner. We're all different. You and I are different,
Mhm.
right? So we have different needs. And at the same time, we also bring different history and pasts to the table in our not only where we are in life now, but in our businesses and our next steps and where we want to go and achieve things to the next level. If we know that we had a great quarter last quarter, but we really want to amp it up, building in the strategies and the tactics to be able to push that forward and fine tune the operations, the marketing, the messaging in the business really helps. And I'm there, and that's what I'm there for. Building in the frameworks and tailored made strategies, I guess you could say it.
Fantastic. Yeah, so really the holistic approach, right, to the
Yeah.
person, which I think is fantastic because a lot of people, right, and even myself as a business coach and consultant, I'm really more about the nuts and bolts of the business. I'm like, okay, this is what you want to do. This is the best strategy for you. This is what we're going to do. Step A, step B, step C. This is your homework and accountability. And it really works for a lot of people, right? But, there can be some people where they do have something else going on, right? So even though they know what they need to do, but if something's going on that they're not addressing, right, then they need to do that, right? Or like I said, maybe with the business, it's affecting the personal. So I'm glad that you really take the holistic approach. And that's why, you know what? I'm glad to have you at our expo, right?
I
Because
appreciate it.
yeah, all business coaches and consultants, we all bring something different to the table. And I think it's something valuable you can bring, right?
I think one thing I could add to that, and what you just touched on, is the idea of being proactive. And this is where I fell short a little past. A little history about me is I ran myself to the ground, and so I personally had a burnout period to not be able to function at my optimal, not even close to my optimal, because I burnt myself up. And that's how I could speak to this personally and know the warning signs and see that. So the personal self awareness and helping an entrepreneur, small business owner, a leader, an executive move themselves to another level, first by being self-aware and then understanding what's making them tick in order to make their business and operations tick more efficiently and effectively is the ultimate goal. So it evens the playing field for that entrepreneur and small business owner across the board.
Fantastic. Yeah, I can see a lot of entrepreneurs like just kind of get into a rut, right? And they're like, I don't know why I can't get ahead. I just keep doing the same thing. And maybe they don't realize they're burnt out. They don't realize, kind of doing the same thing they've been doing over and over again is maybe it's not the best approach, that they're not, dealing with the person themselves. They're not, taking into account that they're not a robot just to make numbers, that they have the whole thing. So that's again what I really like about you.
And I promise there's a way out. I
Yeah,
promise.
that's
I
good.
know
Yeah.
there is, and that's where I think there's a lot of times where we lose hope as business owners and entrepreneurs, and the idea that there are ways. I just wanted to share that. Yeah, we can't lose hope.
Yeah, and I think too, the thing is that, not just giving people ideas, right? But the fact that you're going to be there with them, right? Like you meet with them every week, right? Even twice a week if they want, and having that personal support system, I think is important, right? And obviously having the person who's a business owner, right, who can give them the business insight as well. And that can really help the person, get where they want to go. Because sometimes it's also about just like isolation, when you're an entrepreneur, you're not at an office where you have all these different colleagues, right? It's just kind of yourself. So it is good you can be that, kind of that rock for a person, right? You can be that person there. They know what they can count on, they can ask questions of you. Yeah. So you know what? Tell us a recent success story.
Um, Recently, I actually worked with a kitchen renovation company, and they were having trouble trying to get their message out on how they uniquely can be positioned,
Hmm.
especially in their area or region that's somewhat crowded. In his eyes, is crowded. I don't believe there's ever a crowded market. If there is, there's also a strategy to be able to identify your business as being unique and specific. So it was a matter of getting more leads, and he developed an amazing opt-in and a lead gen marketing piece that would inform the homeowners of what it's going to take and how to manage and navigate an actual kitchen renovation. Like a kitchen renovation, a kitchen is like the hub of a home, from cooking to socializing to getting together where family, come together. And so I guess that might be overlooked a lot of times when people take on kitchen renovations. So we took that opportunity to be able to further educate and move the consumer closer to being more self-aware through this and putting that in front of people's eyes. The reason why that's so effective, and I'll speak to a lot that I work with entrepreneurs, is the story and the positioning of recognizing, us as business owners and entrepreneurs, we're not the heroes. It's the clients that we work with. We want them to be the heroes. So we wanted to make sure that the communication that he had was communicating that they're going to be well informed and they're going to be successful based on these tools, these strategies. And that opens the door for more clients to reach out to him because he's conversational and it's approachable and it's not about only him, it's about their needs. And so that's a whole campaign that was pushed out that increased the reach out and the leads quite substantially. So it was pretty impressive. It's all about positioning and the voice that we all use when it comes to our marketing.
Fantastic. Yeah. So, it really comes down at the end of the day to caring about the client, right? Caring with the client, obviously knowing what to say, how to say it and things like that. And I think it kind of goes back to where, you're kind of looking at the whole person. You're taking care of the whole business owner, getting them to be whole, right? Getting them to understand the strategy, and then, giving them the tools they need. So that way, when they're taken care of, we have more of a capacity to help other people, to be there for other people, right? If we're burnt out, right, we're stressed out, right, or we're just kind of like same old, how can we possibly give the best service to our customers,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And there are specific ways and approaches. I think that there's still an I don't want to say old school, but an overdone approach to marketing and positioning ourselves in whatever industry you're in.
Mhm.
And this is where I love to not be mean. I'm never mean about it, but I like to flip ideas on their heads because again, it's that self-awareness, not only for ourselves, but for our business to see
Mhm.
that there's other opportunities. I know sometimes we get stuck. right? In our own businesses. I mean, I think a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs could say, I know one way. Well, there could be so many other ways to approach this and position it and really actually foster way new growth into their business, and obviously will fulfill them. So there's so many different strategies.
Fantastic. Yeah, my complete philosophy is more heads are better than one. Right? We only have so many ideas in our head, so many experiences in that. So when you can have someone else that has worked with all different entrepreneurs, right? So learn from
Right.
your own experience, other people, right? To give all these other ideas. It's like, wow, oh my God, thank you so much. I never thought about that, right?
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
there's so much benefit to what you offer now. So I'm so happy to have you at our event coming up. And thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you so, so much. I'm so looking forward to it. Thank you.
You're welcome.